In this lecture, we'll be discussing the counselor as a therapeutic person. If you've had me or you currently have me for Psychology 635, Psychological Counseling, Interviewing, and Report Writing, this first lecture is going to sound very familiar. But that should just drive home how central this idea is to being an effective helper. And that's the idea that it is you as a person who is one of the key healing ingredients in your relationship with your client. Really think about this. The counselor as a therapeutic person, not the counselor as a person who is trained to do therapy, not the counselor as a person who knows therapeutic techniques, the counselor as a therapeutic person, meaning it's you as a person and your relationship with the client that helps heal them, that is therapeutic. When you come into a therapy session, you're bringing your whole self. You're bringing your personality, your values, your beliefs, your attitudes. The person and the professional are intertwined and cannot be separated. You have to be your authentic self in those therapy sessions with the client. You can't put on a facade or a mask of being purely a professional. You have to be your whole self. So the techniques that you use in your sessions are important, but their importance is limited. It is really the personal and interpersonal components of the relationship that are essential to bringing about change. So what kind of person can make a difference in the lives of others? So we're going to talk about some of the personal characteristics of effective counselors. Now, this list is not exhaustive. There are several other characteristics discussed in your book, but I want to talk about some that I think are most important. First of all, as a therapist, you must have an identity. You have to know who you are, what's important to you, what your values are. You have to have a strong sense of yourself. You have to be open to change. If we're asking this of our clients, we have to model it ourselves. So if we're asking our clients to be open to changing, we have to be open to changing as well. An effective therapist will make choices that are life-oriented, meaning that we're committed to living fully rather than just settling or existing. No client comes into therapy seeking just to make do. They want more from their lives. They want to be their best selves. They want to live a full life. And we need to make these types of choices for ourselves also. Again, you have to be authentic, sincere, and honest. Now, when I say you need to be honest with your clients, does that mean you have to tell them everything that comes to your mind? No, that's not the case. You do want to use some discretion in what you say to your client, but everything that you say to your client does need to be honest. You never want to damage that trust by being dishonest with them. You have to have a sense of humor. We deal with some very dark, very disturbing topics, and you have to be able to laugh at yourself. You have to bring some levity as appropriate into your sessions. You have to make mistakes and be willing to admit them. You know, you're going to make mistakes in your sessions. The key is not to try to cover them up, not to try to minimize them or excuse them away. Just admit that you've made a mistake and try to repair any damage that's been done by that mistake. You have to appreciate the influence of culture. You need to be aware of your own culture and then also realize that different cultural aspects of your client will affect how you provide your services to them. So always think about these cultural components that may need to have you adapt or slightly change the interventions that you use or the way that you use them. You have to have a sincere interest in the welfare of others. You know, this is the kind of field that you have to come into because you care about people. It's not the field to go into if you're looking for notoriety or looking to make a lot of money or to have a lot of prestige. You have to really be in it because you care about people and you want people to live as best they can. You have to possess effective interpersonal skills. I mean, we are in a people industry, so you have to be able to get along with people, communicate with people, have good people skills. A good therapist is deeply involved in their work and derives some meaning from it. You have to feel a sense of purpose for this work. You have to feel as though that The work is contributing something to your life by giving you a sense of purpose or meaning. But at the same time, you have to maintain healthy boundaries. You have to take care of yourself and know how to set limits, whether it be with supervisors or clients or any type of colleague. You need to know how to set those healthy boundaries to take care of yourself.